sorry, but it's time to stand on business. So I sat down with the divine intention to look at this Mercury retrograde, to see what the energies are surrounding this Mercury retrograde and where we can pull our attention to that will serve us in our highest and greatest good. And believe it or not, I rolled my astro dice and I get Pisces, Moon, 4th house. I am recording this message for people like me. And that's it. That is it. People like me. And if you have a love and an interest for nature, for reality, for yourself, for whatever, in whatever way you put it to yourself that makes you come here and say, yes, I like this. I love what she's talking about. This is it for me. Then this is for you. Specifically, especially for people who are working with metaphysics and who are working with modulating reality through their programming, through their perceptions, etc. This is for you, okay? I'm putting a boundary on my work for myself specifically, because I'm not going to continue creating for the world to receive it when the world is such a fractionalized and divided place. So it is not my responsibility to make everybody hear me. So I'm going to stop doing that. Anyway, to all my beautiful boys and girls, or whomever you are, to all my beautiful girls and creatures, this is for you. Okay, so let's get into it. First of all, I looked at the chart for today, and when I pulled this little doohickey chart on my astro-charts.com, the picture of this chart is actually kind of terrifying to me because I've never studied a chart that looks like this, and this looks very intimidating. We have a chart with energies only located on, at this time, the northern hemisphere. When I pulled the chart, the ascendant was at 9 degrees and 15 minutes of Gemini. But here's the thing I want to call your attention to. There is this strong energy gathering between Pisces and Aries. This is where my attention has gone. Jupiter and Uranus, I don't really know what's going on with them. I'm not focused on them right now. We have the sun in Aries. The sun is at 12 degrees and 20 minutes of Aries, and in Aries with the North Node and Chiron, who are pretty close together. The North Node is at 16 degrees of Aries, and it is moving retrograde, and Chiron is at 18 degrees and 58 minutes of Aries. But here's the thing. Who rules over Aries? Mars. And where is Mars? Ooh, where is Mars? Where is our emperor? Mars is sitting in Pisces. Pisces? Pisces? Yes, Pisces. Mars is at 7 degrees and 28 minutes of Pisces. Who else is in Pisces with Mars, you ask? Stirring up these waters, well, Saturn. And Saturn has been there for quite some time. And Neptune as well. Saturn at 13 degrees of Pisces, Neptune at 27 degrees of Pisces, with Venus at 25 degrees of Pisces. All right, first of all, it's Mercury retrograde tomorrow, so please don't give me shit about skipping up these words. Anyway, talking about the divine temple of Pisces. Remember, Pisces is what I rolled on the astro dice. We are also entering eclipse season. So this is like eclipse season with Pisces energy together. To me is a very strong moment of like the sky breaking open and having divine energy or karmic energy foretold and untold break its way through the atmosphere. I think that human beings are going to feel like so many of us around the world are going to feel this need to awaken ourselves to higher purpose, to a more divine, I heard regalatory purpose. I may just be making this word up, but in my mind, it's this essence of like, we need to get back to divinity, not in the sense of like, I'm picturing like a monarchy, you know, not divinity in just the sense of like, here is this tradition of I understand God best, so I have power over the people. But more so the sense of like regality in everybody. We need to make this huge transition, because I don't think that we are living societally as sacred as we should be. I think that human being is very, very sacred. Earth is very, very sacred. This organism, this being, this consciousness is very sacred. And unfortunately, the programming through which we are cultured doesn't always attest to that, or it doesn't always really, it's not about that. It's not about protecting the sanctimony of our being, of our existence, period. When I look at these energies, what I see is a retelling of a story. I see Aries Mercury. I see a child start walking in its path. It could be going to school, wherever it's going. It has made a decision. I'm going this way, and this is what I am doing. And then it feels this tug. There's something tugging on it from behind. And now it has to turn around and go back to its starting point, go back to, you know, where it first made this decision to start this journey in its life. It needs to step back and reassess, reevaluate before it can continue. These are the Re's of the Mercury retrograde cycle, right? Reassess, rest, LOL, reevaluate, reconsider, right? These things where for most people, this is not a time to be very exact in our decisions, right? Because the energy is inverted. It's a little unstable. But the energy is always unstable. And maybe that's because I'm mutable in my nature, but that's also that's just how I see nature. The energy is always unstable. So I'm not here to, you know, fearmonger you into anything. Just be prepared to be mutable. Be prepared, if you are making any decisions here, to give yourself some room to kind of like slither like a fish and be flexible in whatever it is that you do. So, like I said, Aries wants to drive forward. It is headstrong. It dives headfirst into challenges. And that type of energy in a person can be different than that type of energy felt as a collective. I feel like as a collective, we are all a little bit more emboldened. We are all perhaps as well a little bit more sensitive to one another, or we're learning our sensitivities to one another. But the reason that this Mercury retrograde is so interesting to me, especially right now with this Aries sun, is that Mars, as the ruler of Aries, is in Pisces. I keep getting pulled back. I keep getting called back to this place. I keep getting called back to this feeling. It will not go away. And you know why it won't go away? Is because that is a message from your soul. And I don't know where, for me personally, I stopped talking about the soul, or I stopped acknowledging the ontological magic of nature. And I say ontological even though the soul, anyway, let's continue. And I don't know where or why I stopped using those words. That's a lie. I do know why. I stopped because, like I said in this intro, I was trying to cater my words, or like curate my words to be more digestible to everybody. I'm talking about people who never want even to consider astrology in their life. My intentions were to communicate so that they could also hear this information. And I'm doing that to people please. I'm doing that because I don't feel that I have enough security in myself and in how I can attract like-minded people. So that's why I say we're standing on business. This is a very clear message for me that we are not going to hide the truth of what we know, of what we feel, of what we see. I'm not going to be silent about that. I'm not going to scream it into everybody's ear, but that's what I mean. I'm not going to hide my knowledge. And it's arcane, it's esoteric. By nature, it has been hidden. In some sense, it is hidden. But hidden more so in the Piscean way, right? More so in this amorphous and intangible way. When meditating on this cycle, these next couple of weeks, something really beautiful happened where I had this feeling that what I need to realize is that Pisces is communicating truth without ever pointing to it, without ever necessarily seeing the shape or having to write the words. And I circled this word truth. I circled this on my paper, but it was invisible. And it's this beautiful, strange relation between the mind, the imagination, the sensitivity, and the empirical nature of what our bodies are relating to. I can circle and know truth without the word ever being written there. And it's clear, it's so clear to me. It is so clear to me how this energy exists, how Piscean energy exists. So in Pisces as well, we have Neptune conjoining to Venus. They will make an exact conjunction on, looking at the ephemeris, 28 degrees on the 28th of April, which is a Sunday. So on the 28th of April, Neptune and Venus make an exact conjunction. Likewise with Mars. Isn't that interesting? Guys, this is the first time that I'm actually reading this and seeing that. And that, to me, is quite interesting. The moon will also be squaring up to these energies, which to me tells me that this is going to be a very pressing topic for us. So on the 28th of April, Mars, Venus, and Neptune will all be conjoined in Pisces at 28 degrees, squaring to the moon in Sagittarius. So Pisces, I want you to take what you know about Pisces and also add this. Pisces is a place of inner hearing, intuition. That's what that means. Inner hearing from within the walls. So Pisces does not need external signs and signals and literature and whatnot. Though all of those things are beautiful, but what Pisces is discreet. It is the, like, I have no words, and that is perfectly the point. You know how we can say the soul, and we know what that is, even though it is not one thing, it is many things, but we know our relationship to that. Pisces is the same. It is the soul of the universe, the soul of self. Pisces is the soul. And for some reason, that's never felt more clear than it does now. So in Pisces, we run into this very confusion that you have just heard me struggle with for the past couple minutes or so, of there being a truth, there being knowledge, clarity, but that clarity being out of shape, not in a form. You have to feel it to perceive it to know it to believe it, and so on. Pisces is the sign of poetry, arts, sensuality, high elated feelings. It is what the body does not have reference for. And somehow yet, it is supposed to encompass everything that the body has reference for. Cue the perfect dichotomy with Virgo. Virgo is the material, the detail of the material, that which can be seen, that which can be sensed at a material level. Virgo, feeling these details. Pisces, So now, what does this mean for the Mercury retrograde season? Like I said, little Jimmy is walking to school, gets pulled back by divine forces that say, you know what? I think that we need to change course. Well, pause. Not change course per se, but this pull, this calling, it feels as though we are being pulled back to the heart space, back to childhood. Think of the Six of Cups. Back to a place where love is undeniable. We cannot deny our belief in the greatest power of love. So we are going to be called back to this space. And Mars in Pisces is having his own little spiritual experiment, okay? His own little spiritual experience. Because Mars in Pisces is not allowed to just flap through water and cut through water. No. Mars is going to have to learn how to traverse these waters in a different way. So this is the energy of relinquishing your defenses, relinquishing your offenses, and leaning into the spiritual waters, leaning into flow. Human beings don't understand that you yourself are flow. I know we get so caught up in the mind and in will and action. And this is why Pisces can be best felt in silence. In the silence of the mind. Hell, you could be playing your favorite song, and that click where you lock in to the flow, to the movement, to the rhythm, to the symphony, that is just like silence. Pisces is profound. I want to remind you as well that we are in the age of Pisces until 2150. So when we visit these more terrestrial themes, terrestrial meaning our planets are moving through the constellation of Pisces, this goes so much farther beyond our own independent experience. We are speaking to the soul of the world. Perhaps since Saturn has moved into Pisces as well, you felt more responsibility to the world. Or you have felt in some way this narrative come up for you. Whose responsibility is it to take care of the world? Who are our leaders? Who can we depend on? Is anybody going to come save us? Why do I need to be saved? What are my needs? Pisces likewise is described as the bridge between worlds. It's a channel. I believe it to be a medium, a representative of the medium. So seeing Venus here with Neptune is very beautiful to me because these are harmonizers. Neptune is very comfortable in Pisces. The two understand one another's history. They understand one another's elemental makeup as well. And Venus here is a harmonizer. It is bringing the two ends of the spectrum together. In itself, in another, in the community. In some way, shape, or form. Now, this is why Mars, our ego, our brute ego that says, I'm gonna stick it to you first, because that's when I need to feel safe, because that's when I need to feel validated. Mars has to learn something here. Mars has to learn that it's not all about me and what I can do. Perhaps as well, these are some of the themes that we're finding with Chiron and Aries. We've been feeling a wound and responding to a wound with healing, right? It's not just like we've been depleted in this sense, but we've been responding to this wound of self-efficacy. What can I do? What can I really do? What change can I really offer the world? What is in my power to do? And so with Chiron here, you may have been seeing how people, your childhood, your family, your everyday circumstances, whatever it may be, wherever Aries is in your house, wherever Chiron now is in your house, how these relationships to these things have actually been trigger spots for you expressing your will, or trigger points for you commanding your will, being in tune with your will at all. Aries is the will to live. It is the will to live. So how have these things dampened or forced you to take more awareness of this life force energy within you? And you know, with this sun moving through Aries, this is exactly where the topic of conversation will become all the more relevant. Again, Mars is about to go through some deep waters. I believe, and take my advice at your own risk, but I believe that this is a great time for soul searching. Soul searching in the sense that I feel like a lot of us are confused right now with regards to our purpose, potentially just confused in our relationships, in our responsibilities as adults, as who we should be, etc. So this feels like a really, really good time to get clear with yourself, to get centered with yourself, to know what you are doing this for. Instead of moving through this cycle with fear and impatience and wanting to get out of these waters to a clear picture as quickly as possible, take this as an opportunity to explore your magic, to play with your will. I don't want you to choose the vision that everybody else is choosing. I want you to know why you're doing it for yourself. And of course, I'm really talking to myself as I'm saying this, which is the only reason I can communicate this, is because I know for me, this is a process of emergence from embeddedness. And I'm seeking a connection to something that goes even farther beyond human society, beyond, the humans, beyond our world, something that reaches far out into the cosmos, farther than I can even see, That's my relationship to spirit, to God, to nature as well, to being, to presence, to reality. And so with Venus ingressing into Aries, following this conjunction with Neptune, this is a really dreamy revolution of self. This is a really dreamy awakening of self. Somebody saying, this is who I am. I feel it stronger in myself than I ever have before. And this is my chance, my moment to really exclaim that and to take hold of that and to take power over that. As you can tell as well, this energy is sleepy. The energy of expansiveness and the soul of the world, it's sleepy. It's not grounded in anything that the human does on a day-to-day basis, right? I mean, maybe some people, but it's like your body does not digest expansiveness and Christ consciousness or whatever the fuck, empathy. Your body doesn't like eat that, right? You don't exercise to see your empathy grow or whatever, like there are some very tangible physical things that we do. You don't live in a house of empathy. I mean, potentially, right? Again, it depends. All of this semantics, and we could create the image, right? If that's what we needed to do. But my point here is that these energies are not as concrete as we might see. Maybe a little bit because we have Jupiter rolling over Pisces in Taurus at this time. But still, it's like with whatever narratives we're getting from the material world, the underbelly is where our gravity is right now. It's where the focus is right now. It's on the underbelly. It's on the softer sides. So let this be a time where you get a lot of rest. From my meditation, I heard very clearly, listen for the truth. Know it when you see it. Okay? Listen for the truth. Know it when you see it. This is a time as well to allow yourself to be inundated with beautiful senses of things, right? That Jupiter in Taurus makes me feel like you need to go sniff the fucking roses, go smell the roses, go buy yourself some beautiful perfume. Things that have sensory implications like perfume, beautiful smelling soap, beautiful smelling body butter, okay? Responding to, the texture of your clothing, the foods that you're eating, needing very specific foods, listening to your body and listening to what it needs. Creating environments where you allow people to do the same is going to be very important right now. Like clicking into place. I want you to click into place. This is what I heard. We're clicking into place. I heard tick, tock, tick, tock, tick, tock, tick. And it's like something is clicked into place. God, this is so much energy for me. But we're going to keep going. Another thing that I wrote down, and I know I'm throwing a lot at you, so thank you for following along. Another thing I wrote down, I cannot believe 28 minutes has gone by. Another thing I wrote down is that we need to let our bodies be dynamic in their expression. Let your body do what it wants to do. Make the weird noises, do the weird little stim things. Like, if your body has the will to do that and feel itself do that, do that. Just let yourself be. Just let yourself be. And again, that's why I want to kind of focus my audience and start speaking to more highly sensitive people, because I feel like you get it. Even if you're not an HSP and you're still resonating with this, that's cool. But I feel like The highly sensitive people, they get me. And I get you. Okay? So, to recap, this is a time of slow movement. Mars will not be leaving Pisces until May 1st. Yes. So all of April, you have time. Of course, you will still be plunging forward. This is Mars. But Jupiter is in Taurus, baby. You have time. Because it feels like right now, nature and spirit are coordinating. And like I said, things need to click into place. So it's like we're taking the whirlwind that is humanity and trying to organize people and, I don't know, whatever the fuck else to operate more smoothly as a machine, right? Because we're a society. We impact one another. There are systems in place. Things are going to take time, all right? That's at least my 2 cents with it, okay? So this Mercury retrograde, to me, is exactly that. It's pointing to Mars's slow transit, even though it's really not that slow, but Mars's transit through Pisces, which Mars is a planet of impatience, okay? So please give yourself some time, all right? All right. And last but not least, I want to call to the tarot cards that I pulled, okay, that just affirm this message. But first, a word from our sponsors.
Well, have you ever been down a little shit trap and you don't know what to do or how to get out? Well, my name is Don Lennon D. Jr., and I'm here to tell you that I have the solution for you. Did you know that 9 in 10 women suffer from a rare condition called mitochondrial hip dysplasia, where in the rare sense, your mitochondrial in your cells, they lose their anaerobic oxygen-producing qualities and cause your hips to fail. Now, what you probably didn't know is that this has been a tactic of the Democratic government to make you walk sideways, bent, so that you cannot see the birds in the sky are not real. But fear not, because I have a solution for you today. All you need to do is dial 911-532-4375. That's 911-532-4375. And I will send my daughter right on down. She has a mallet. She will whack that hip right back into place. Now, don't you worry, daughter. She's going to come down there with a pint of my dear Uncle Lenny's goat milk as well. These goats have been walked from the mountains of Peru all the way up here to the northern United States of America, meaning that they will build your cells with the same holy fire power that found Jesus on his walk from Peru to the holy United States of America. Can I get an amen? Again, that number is 911-532-4375. Listen, we will be here all week, ladies and gentlemen, so just call us anytime. You know, we really all just will be here. Call us anytime, all right?
This has been Don D. Lennon Jr.'s Hip Crack Paddywhack Mitochondrial Cell Hip Dysplasia Solutions. Please call 911-534-7432. Okay.
So let's get into the tarot. So first and foremost, I started with the 8 of Cups. Remember that we pulled the Moon, Pisces, 4th house, a lot of this like inner intuition, okay? So this is knowing when to go, knowing when to move on, but also to me this feels like we are making a decision to leave something that even though it's not going to be really gone, this is more so about how you, when Mercury again goes direct, when Mars leaves Pisces and finally enters Aries, how we are going to combat the world, how we are going to like pioneer head first through the world, how we are going to finally express ourselves and be born into this energy again, whatever this energy is. So the 8 of Cups is your opportunity now, your signal now to shift, to move on. And more specifically, why I'm speaking to this specific demographic of people as well, my witches and ghouls, is that I have the Two of Pentacles with the High Priestess, 2 twos, finding duplicity, finding similarity, finding your true, authentic knowledge and wisdom show up in the world around you, be stated in the things that you do, letting it be the face of the projects that you take on and how you structure your life, what you do in the world. What came to me previously on the Earth Chronicles, was that I feel like no matter what I do, I'm going to be living in the world beneath a mask. And that is because in my body, I know that what I am, even though I am many things, specific to this example though, I know that what I am is sentient matter, regardless of how I choose to identify, what I choose to call myself, how I choose to be. I know that I am a conscious organism. And I love that. That's what it is. That is the beauty. That is the magic of it. And so long as I have to move through this world, calling myself something and choosing to interact with what has been put before me, right? And even though a lot of that is beautiful, for example, I wouldn't be able to enjoy guitar music if nobody ever fucking invented the guitar, right? But it would probably be something different. Who cares? So in some way, I know that I feel like I will always have to wear a mask because who I want to be is a blob of like organic matter, not Ava, the person who does all of these things and now has to carry this responsibility of being this person, and I just want to be an animal.
I apologize for the banging. She got a little excited.
I just want to be an animal. And so long as I have to move through the world calling people by their name and having people identify me by my name, then that'll be me wearing a mask. And it won't always be like that, right? I'm sure that I have certain private little corners of my mind that allow me to move through the world, and it's not like that. Please go see my blog post, Destined to be a Ghost, where I kind of describe that feeling of like moving through the world finally as a ghost, where I'm not sizing myself up against other people and not differentiating myself, but I can just be an animal embedded in nature's fabric. So the Two of Pentacles and the High Priestess to me is somebody who in their study, in their practice of the divine arts, of the esoteric arts, of the healing arts, they are taking this so much more seriously to the point that it is now materializing as a part of their everyday. It becomes like an anatomical appendage to them. And that's how it should be. You should be able to acknowledge these things for what they are. Acknowledge magic, acknowledge spirituality, acknowledge God, acknowledge energy for what it is and how it shows itself to you. Acknowledge the body, who in its being speaks to the truth of all of these things. Okay? And with the exactness that I'm speaking about this right now, this is the energy of clarity that you need to take into this Mercury retrograde. The King of Swords is here, saying, bitch, you better believe. Because where do we continue to land, my friends, when we come back to this realization? It's revelation. It is enlightenment. We continue to find ourselves called back home to God, to nature, to Mother, to whomever represents this divine for you. To art, to music, to love. To love. We continue to be called back here. So when are you going to accept that this is what you need to do? This is who you are. This is what nature has designed for you. And that acceptance, where you finally say, this is my kingdom, This is my world, my reality. This is what I see. This is what I feel. This is what I seek. When you finally take that authority over your life, the emperor will be right there waiting for you to give you his throne. I don't know who the fuck has been sitting in your throne, who this man is, but boot him.
Yeah, boot that man.
And take your seat. All right, you can keep him there if you think that he's going to be useful for your vision. Maybe he's the one who's been telling you this whole time, man, this is what I've been telling you. Finally you get it. Finally you understand the purpose. And not understand in the sense that, oh, well, you know, my North Node is here, so my purpose is in this stereotypical and replicated phrase about what a human being should be doing with their life in a capitalist society. No, it is purpose that you resonate with in your body. You don't need to tell anybody what it is. You don't even need to know how to describe it, even though that will become useful for you. And that's kind of the whole point, right? Like, it's kind of like being clear that, even if you can't describe it, you show it. You live it. Okay? So, not purpose in the artificial sense. Purpose in the sense that my body is affirming reality for me right now. And that's what it is. My body has carved out destiny for me. That's what it is. People don't understand. People don't understand. Destiny does not just lie in the stars. Your destiny is not just in, the Akashic records or whatnot. Your destiny is written through your body. That's the only place you'll ever live. That is the only appendage to at least the reality as we know it now, right? So you will see your kingdom rejuvenated. Hopefully, you hear this call and you come back home and you recognize the purpose in your being. And no matter what way the words carry you, you will have to be bold, be strong, be confident, and courageous to move through whatever fears may arise. And trot your path. You are not going to walk where people have walked before. Perhaps not. But if you've been feeling confused, if you haven't found that channel to pick you up, that's because it's not going to be perfectly carved out for you. You have to take the steps, which is fucking terrifying. You got to bring a machete, cut down all this fucking tall grass. You don't know what's going to be around the corner. You could fall into a well. You could fall over a cliff. Right? But it's that trust that I will go my way. You can go, yeah. What a beautiful, long message. Pisces, just thank you. Thank you for being this bridge, for allowing me to walk the rainbow bridge of love with you. Thank you, my dear listener. And I will see you on the other side. Have a beautiful Mercury retrograde. Take your time, be patient with yourself. Eliminate excess words, eliminate excess distractions. Listen to your body, because your body will call you into the spaces that you need to be in. Remember, it does not have to be silent for you to feel and appreciate the silence. You know what you're doing. Trust yourself. I love you. All will become clear if you let yourself believe that it is already